Hi, this is the news from Zimmer and Peacock for the week starting the 21st of September 2020. So every week we do a quick summary. We do it as a podcast and a video log, and we do appreciate the fact that you guys download it or you watch it on YouTube. So this week, one of the pieces of news, for example, is we've been doing some shear testing at Zimmer and Peacock. So we do a lot of biosensor development, and we might make a biosensor and we might mount that biosensor onto what we call a substrate so somebody can handle it or wear it, for example. And so we've been figuring out how much force does it take to break a piece away from the material that we adhered it to. So that's called shear testing. It's we have that kind of equipment, and so we just put a kind of little note up there on the website to sort of show that we have that kit and we have that kind of capability. So at Zimmer and Peacock, we do biosensor development, biosensor manufacturing, and there's lots of auxiliary tasks around that kind of work, including things like shear testing, and we can do that kind of testing at our area. Which kind of brings me to the next note that we put out there, actually, which was we've been expanding our test areas. So at Zimmer and Peacock, we have grown quite rapidly, especially during the summer this year. And our guys, I'm really proud of our guys because they're actually, we have some people who are really keen on keeping things clean and tidy. So I was impressed that they kind of set up these 3 test areas. Some of them were electrochemical test areas and some of them were microscopy test areas. But they kind of set them up and given them dedicated titles because we have clients now who are moving quite rapidly towards market. And it's one thing that you develop their sensor, it's another thing that you manufacture their sensor. You've got to test it, and you test it by, inspection, by visual inspection. You can also test these things by electrochemical inspection. So I just put a quick picture up there this week showing people that, we actually were quite serious about manufacturing and including the testing of biosensors. Now this week, we have a very good project manager on a nitrate program. So one of the big programs that's running at Zimmer and Peacock is we are making or converting our nitrate sensors to be sensors that work in the soil. We have a very large government grant, thanks to the UK government, and they want us to make a nitrate sensor for the continuous monitoring of nitrate in the soil. And I think that also has a benefit for the environment as well, because if you can measure how much nitrate's in the soil, then you can prevent you from over fertilizing and therefore getting runoff of the nitrate into the water courses and causing pollution. So one of our project managers had put up a little note this week on the ZP AgTech website. So if you're very interested in knowing about our nitrate technology, then just Google zpagtech.com. And there they just mentioned about the electronics that we have developed for this. This electronics has the sort of ability to measure temperature and what's called open circuit potential. So a nitrate sensor is a form of ion selective electrode. So if any of you watch our webinars, we'll talk about potentiometric sensors and ion selective electrodes. And so this set of electronics can actually measure 15 of these sensors using the same board. So we did put a note out about that this week. We also got a really good team in Indonesia, and the guys in Indonesia at PT Mab, Jati and Hasim there are running a special promotion at the moment where they're going to test 3 samples for the price of 2 samples. So if you're producing chili products and you want to know the hotness of your product, then you can contact Jati. Now Joti's email is on our website. So if you're looking for Joti, it's joti.kasumo@zimmerpeacock.com, or also on the website. I've also linked him on LinkedIn as well. So if you're trying to find him, maybe have a look on LinkedIn as well, and you'll find Joti. So you can contact them about the testing of your chili samples. Also, sticking with the Indonesian team as well, Hasim has been accepted to speak at the 11th Conference on Environmental Science and Technology, ICST. And he's going to talk about molecular imprinted polymers. So Hasim has a first degree in chemistry and a second degree, or a master's then in sort of material science, because he's worked on what's called molecular imprinted polymers, and he's now using the MIPS to actually do testing of things like polyaromatic hydrocarbons. So it's worth saying that he's had a paper accepted, and we're very proud of that. And if you take a look on the website, you'll see when that conference runs. I think it's basically online, but it's October the 23rd to October the 25th. So ZP is delighted to be part of that conference. So congratulations to Hasim on that. And just a bit of fun. One of the fun things that we put up this week is we have a really good team of engineers and people who are kind of passionate about their work and passionate about the kind of work we do for our clients, and they like, being part of the team. So you might notice that I'm wearing it. Well, if you're watching the video log, you'll notice I'm wearing a ZP t-shirt, and Petter came into work this week wearing a similar t-shirt. So we took a quick picture of him because, we appreciated him wearing that for us at work. And it's probably worth noting that we do have a ZP fashion store. And on there you'll find branded wear from ZP's Developer Zone. So ZP Developer Zone is something that's really close, one of our really important efforts, where we're building a community of people interested in biosensor development and manufacturing. And these people are not clients or customers. These guys are collaborators. So the ZP Developer Zone, we run it every week. We do a webinar for them every week. We have a Discord server for chat. We're going to do a ZP Developer Zone workshop next year in Jakarta. So it's a very active effort at Zimmer & Peacock. So I just wanted to cover a few things before things that weren't necessarily on the website this week so overtly, but I'm just going to touch on them now. One of them is interdigitated electrodes. So interdigitated electrodes are, you have an electrode and it has a finger-like structure, and you have another electrode and it has a finger structure, and the fingers poke into each other. It's called interdigitated. So people are very keen on these interdigitated electrodes. If you ever Google it, you'll find sort of tens of thousands of papers about it. So at Zimmer Peacock, anyway, we do have a lot of screen printed electrodes. We have a lot of gold electrodes, and then on our page about gold electrodes, I've just put a quick note up and some pricing about that we are making screen printed electrodes which have interdigitated properties. So if you are looking for a sort of low cost interdigitated platform, then it's probably worth taking a look at the ZP gold screen printed interdigitated electrodes. And the last thing I wanted to finish off on this week was every week we do a webinar, but every 4 weeks we do a really big webinar for the general public. And this week we've done a webinar on wearables, and we're really pleased with these. We try and make sure that they have a strong educational content. We do a live demo during this. So in this webinar, we talked about sensors in sweat and sensors on the skin and sensors in clothing and transdermal sensors. We talked about glucose and hydration. So it was fairly comprehensive, and it was nice that, these are very niche, subject matter. So we're not expecting, we're not going to get 1 million views, but it's very nice that this only went out this only went out on the 17th, and we had like 170 views so far. So that was pretty cool. So I was very happy with that. So I think I just want to sort of summarize now and say we do appreciate you that follow us every week on this little news feed that we do. We do it just because some of you are very passionate, like we are, about biosensors, and we just want to keep you up to date with what we're up to. So summary for this week: Zimmer Peacock, we do biosensor and medical diagnostic development, and that includes things like shear testing. How well have we managed to adhere two things together before they'll break apart? We have expanded our test areas because we are really ramping up some manufacturing. We're getting very close on our nitrate sensor, so we're delighted with the electronics. Really pleased with the work that Hasim has been doing on measuring the hotness of chilies. Delighted that Hasim has got accepted for a conference, and we discussed that. And as I say, Petter was wearing one of these t-shirts to work this week, so we thought it would be nice just to kind of take a picture of him and put him on the social media. All right, if you've got any questions of Zimmer and Peacock, please drop us a line, and thanks very much. Appreciate it.